You think you're safe, you lock your doors, turn on the lights, and tell yourself it's just a story. But the truth is, fear is real. It walks among us, it waits in the dark, and it never forgets a face. Welcome to Haunt Rush. Every week, we're diving into the experiences that shatter reality. The encounters that left real people looking over their shoulder forever. Turn off the lights, lock your phone, and get ready. Because tonight, the nightmare is real. It was the end of summer, just before my final year of college. I'd been visiting my older sister Claire 2 states over, a grueling 8-hour drive that felt longer because of the thick, humid air and the dead straight monotony of the interstate. I'd left around midnight, aiming to drive through the quietest part of the night. Claire had begged me to stay until morning, but I had an early deadline. So I grabbed a huge thermos of coffee, promised to text her when I got in, and hit the road. By 3:30 a.m., I was about 3/4 of the way home, somewhere deep in the woods of West Virginia. The road was absolutely deserted. No streetlights, no other cars. Just me, the headlights, and the hum of the engine. The coffee was starting to fail. My eyes were heavy, and the silence in the car was practically vibrating. I needed a break, just 5 minutes to stretch my legs and clear my head. I spotted a small, unmarked rest area exit, pulled off the road, parked the car, and just sat there for a minute, letting the silence settle in. It felt different here, heavier. I checked my rearview mirror, just an old habit, and for a split second, I saw it. A shape, a quick, black shadow in the back seat, right behind the passenger side. I blinked, adrenaline instantly cutting through the fatigue. It was gone. The back seat was empty, exactly as it should be. I told myself it was the dark, the lack of sleep, maybe just a trick of the taillights reflecting off the wet pavement. I even twisted in my seat to look. Nothing, just the duffel bag and a few empty water bottles. I laughed it off, a tired hallucination. I decided to skip the stretch and just go. I put the car in drive and pulled back onto the highway. The moment I merged, I had this ice-cold feeling on the back of my neck, like I wasn't alone anymore. I kept glancing at the rearview mirror, but the back seat was still empty. But every time I checked, the cold feeling intensified. Then, I looked again, and this time it wasn't a shadow. It was a face, pressed right up against the passenger side rear window, pale, distorted by the rain and the glass, but I could clearly make out 2 dark, vacant holes where the eyes should be. It was facing out of the car, looking at the road we'd just passed. I didn't scream. I couldn't. All the air was sucked out of the car. My foot instinctively slammed down on the gas. The speedometer needle flew up. I was shaking so hard the car started to drift. I kept my eyes locked on the mirror. The face didn't move an inch. It didn't react to the sudden speed. It wasn't looking at me. It was watching the road behind us, almost as if it was waiting for something to catch up. I flashed my high beams, swerved, honked, anything to break the silence, to prove I was real, and it shouldn't be there. It was like driving a coffin down the road. I knew, without turning around, that if I pulled over, if I acknowledged it, I would never drive away again. And then, slowly, agonizingly slowly, the face turned. Now it was looking right at me. Not smiling, not frowning, just looking. And that's when I realized it wasn't pressed against the window. It was just floating there, inches from the glass, defying physics. I started yelling, begging it to leave, screaming until my voice cracked. I gripped the wheel so tight my knuckles were white. Suddenly, a flash of headlights in the mirror. Another car, finally. A semi-truck roaring up behind me. In the bright, momentary glare of the truck's massive lights, I glanced at the mirror. It was gone. Just like that. Vanished into the glare. I pulled over at the next exit, which led to a brightly lit gas station. I got out, threw up in the bushes, and checked the back seat again, the doors, the trunk. Everything was locked. There was no way anyone had gotten in. I waited at that gas station until the sun came up, drinking awful coffee and texting Claire that I was fine, just taking a long break. I couldn't bring myself to tell her what I'd seen. To this day, I don't know what I picked up at that deserted rest stop. Was it a spirit tied to that stretch of highway? Was it something that wanted a ride? All I know is this: I will never stop at an unlit rest area again. And every time I look in my rearview mirror now, whether it's day or night, whether I'm tired or wide awake, I still check the corner of the window first. Because that thing wasn't looking at me when it arrived. It was looking at where we'd been. And I can't shake the thought that maybe it was waiting for me to go back. Be careful what you let ride with you in the dark.